Yo, what's good with y'all? Ski Major back with another video for you guys today. You guys read the title. Today we got a dark synth sample similar to dezwright style. So hopefully you guys enjoy and there's something new. Let's just straight to the video. So here's a preview of the sample. So the first idea I started with for this FOP was this analog chop from my Onyx V2 kit. The analog chops folder comes with a bunch of starters and phrases I made that I just chopped up to give it that sampled, chopped feel, and all of these sounds in this folder. 90% of this kit is all royalty free. If you guys want to get this kit, it'll be the first link in the description down below. So very similar to the final product that I used in the actual sample. All I did was I pitched it up by 300 cents and then I detuned it a little bit. As far as the effects, all I had on here was this ozone imager, making it 41% more mono. I wanted to sound a little more mono so give that vintage old feel. And then I just stretched it out to be halftime, so it's a lot slower than the original phrase. Next, after that, I wanted to go in and add a synth bass to start with that dezwright type of sound. He loves to use a lot of these harsh synth basses, real distorted. So I just went in Chroma, which is a fire VST that has a lot of synth sounds in there. And I went to the default preset you open up with, and I used that at a very low octave to replicate like a really distorted bass type of sound. So for the actual bass line, I just followed the root note of the sample, which was A sharp. And then all I did is I wanted to capture a lot of rhythm. And just so the sample wasn't so static and boring, I just wanted to capture rhythm and have a bouncy bass line for the sample. So I did that by adding very, very short notes, but adding them a lot throughout the sample, as you can see. And another very simple trick I would do is to add a little transition note going from the first section to the second section. I would like to simply just add a note at the bottom. For the next layer in the sample, I used Chroma again, and I used the same preset. All I did differently was at a higher octave with a little bit of different processing. For the processing, I went into the Chroma VST itself and I literally just added a tiny bit more reverb, but I mostly added delay onto the sound. As far as in FL, I just took out the lows and I raised the highs a little bit. And the actual melody is very, very simple with just this little 3 notes, and then I copied it over for the second half and I removed that last note at the top, and I just took this, copied it for the whole thing. Very simple, very, very just basic. So for the last layer, I wanted to add some sort of a ARP to the melody. So I went into Chroma again, I selected this preset and I added a basic melody with the ARP just to give it more rhythm and more bounce to the sample and not be so static and boring. So again, a very, very simple melody. It's literally like, you know, anybody can make a melody like this. It's just I really focused on sound selection and choosing the right sounds. I really recommend giving Chroma a try. It's really, really dope. Has some of the best synth sounds in here, replicating some of the real vintage synth hardware that like dezwright uses or a lot of these bigger producers use. As far as the processing, I added nothing on here. It already sounded perfect to me. And that was pretty much it for the first half. And as you could tell, for the first half, I did end up deleting all the instruments in the second 4 bars to let the analog chop breathe and just have more room. So going into the second half of the melody, I wanted to layer another analog chop from the same Onyx multi-kit. And similar to the first analog chop, I wanted to go for that same like old vintage type of sound. So I decided to go with this one. So as far as what I did with this in the actual playlist, I literally just dragged and dropped and I pitched it up an octave. That was it. I like how it sounded. As far as the processing, I didn't add anything on here. I just pitched it up an octave. Now to make it more smooth, I did add the original chop in here. I just ended up fading it out like this to kind of just help it transition better and not be so like a abrupt cut. So in here, I added the bass again. I just changed up the melody where I had longer bass notes playing. And then I copied over that same lead for the second half. This one I did not change at all. It's still the same melody, but after that I added the same arp. And all I did differently is I copied the same melody and then I changed some notes around just to make the arp sound a lot more full and have a lot more going on. And then lastly, I added 2 more melodies at the end. I added this chroma in here with this preset. It's just a very harsh lead. I did end up adding a pad from Mercury and I use this preset right here, but I don't think I use it in the final sample. But that was pretty much it for the last elements added in this sample. I just kind of arranged everything. As far as the master, I did add a sound shift on here where I pitched it up 2 semitones, and then I just had this soft clipper just making the whole sample a lot louder. I exported that, and then this was the final sample. But yeah, that's pretty much the entire sample, the whole FOP. Hope you guys did enjoy and learn something new. If you guys want the Onyx kit I use in the sample that comes with a bunch of analog chops, one-shots, a whole analog lab bang, drums, a whole multi-kit for really that synth digital sound, it'll be the first link in the description down below. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss any more videos, and I'll see you guys in the next video.